Good afternoon and welcome to Toledo Speedway in Toledo, Ohio for today's running of the RC Cola 200 for the Hooters Cup late models. I'm Roby Helm, Mark Bishardi alongside in the booth, and Brian Dreber down in the pit area. And we're glad you could join us. A beautiful day for racing here at Toledo, Ohio, as the sun is shining brightly over this half-mile oval, high-banked oval here at Toledo Speedway. And just a short 16 hours ago, Mark, we were racing in Columbus, Ohio. A very cool evening, and today a beautiful day as the national anthem is playing in the background. With all due respects to our great nation, we are getting set for the start of the race. The cars are on the front straightaway lining up as they just concluded qualifying, so the drivers have had a quick turnover from qualifying to lining up for the start of the race, and I know that they got to have the adrenaline pumping now.
Yes, they do, and as cool as it was this morning, everybody was in jackets out here, and now the sun's out, everything's warmed up quite a bit, and a lot of them were able to make the transition from the tight Columbus Motor Speedway track to this big oval we have here at Toledo.
And there are your weather conditions. Clear skies today, 72 degrees. And just a beautiful day for racing. Track temperature about 80 degrees, a little bit cool for racing, but they'll get those tires warmed up, some good humidity, and it's just a beautiful day for racing as the cars line up on the front straightaway. This afternoon's Hooters Sports Production is brought to you by Hooters, home of nearly world-famous chicken wings. By Jackaroo, it's not just for barbecue anymore. By Naturally Fresh, nature's finest blended naturally. By Goodyear, #1 in racing, #1 in tires. By Red Dog Beer, be your own kind of dog. And by Nikon, leadership you can see. We are looking forward to the start of this race. The cars lining up on the front straightaway. And now let's go down for a report from Brian Dreber, who will talk a little bit about the contrast of going from a race 16 hours ago, loading up and coming here to Toledo Speedway. Brian?
Gotta get swapped over from one track to the other.
No, we worried about our sleep deprivation.
Too quick. We wrecked the car and had to rebuild it all last night.
16 hours ago and 3 hours down the road in Columbus, Ohio, the checkered flag fell on the first of 2 races this weekend. Now for the crews, it means that a long day yesterday and a very short night last night is going to result in another long day here today. The real proof in the pudding for some of these guys is going to be how well they've been able to prepare these race cars overnight and how rested their drivers will be for 200 laps here at the Toledo Speedway.
Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate. We've got 2 good cars, and actually we had this planned all along to have 1 car for Toledo, 1 car for Columbus, because with the logistics and the time involved, I tell you what, it's tough to run a race down at Columbus and beat the car up a little bit and get it all fixed and all changed over for this big track and be here this morning. So we originally planned it this way, so it works out good. I'm pretty fortunate in that way.
Yeah, we had the front end kind of banged up from that little wreck there last night, so we had to put a new bumper on the front and change a couple springs in the gear and stuff, and pretty much everything's the same from that.
Well, this is a different car we brought today. This is the car we normally run up here at the Iceman Series, so this car should be real good. We don't have to worry about that other car. We just put that off in the garage.
Bag out, a little bit of a mixed bag out there. Some of the guys, of course, had a little bit easier night. Others have been up all night, and you'll be able to see some baggy eyes out there. That was back in the tech line just a few minutes ago, hustling over here. It's already warmed up enough to take my jacket off. The track temperature, as they said, about 80 degrees. That's a little cool for the Goodyear Eagle Racing tires, but they'll certainly get them up to temperature and get them up to speed here pretty quick. Most of the drivers are already starting to move in position on the grid here on this very unusually shaped Toledo Speedway. Behind me, turns 3 and 4 is a more pointy turn. This track is really shaped like an egg. Down in turns #1 and 2, it's more of a big round turn. So as we said last night in kind of a prediction here, this racetrack is a little bit of a compromise in terms of setup. Some of the cars will be set up good to go in and out of 3 and 4. They won't be so good in 1 and 2 and vice versa. But the drivers will make the adjustments, and we can be guaranteed of some very good racing here. The starting grid, well, once again, there are some surprises. And after last night, the points battle has tightened up. Just a handful of points difference between Mike Garvey, the points leader, and the guys that are chasing him, most notably Dick Anderson, last night's winner, and Mario Gosselin, which I think he is going to be one of the guys to watch here today. He was very fast last night. His crew said he was just riding. He's going to cut him loose here today. A lot of fast cars in the field, a lot of new cars in the field, and I'm sure the guys up in the booth will be talking about that in more detail in just a few minutes. We are getting set to go here for the start of this 200-lap race, which is going to be far different than what we had last night. Last night was pretty much a sprint. In fact, they really only got about 35 laps of green flag racing in last night. Here it's going to be 200 laps, and this is a racetrack that is very, very unforgiving. We'll get back here in just a few minutes for the Toledo 200. This is going to be the RC Cola event, and we'll be right back after these very important messages. Trust us, we'll still be here.